We might need another light. It's directly from above. Kind of don't like that. Vicky, what's up? I'm trying to set up another light because I don't like the light coming from above. And I should have done this earlier, but meh. A little bit better. The light's not great. The lighting is not great, but yeah, let's go. Okay, so what do we have? Let me see. Let me entire screen. Actually, it's tab window. Wait, hold on. And we're gonna do that. The Hatman, and see if we can do like a split screen right here. Okay, then we're gonna do share that. Where is everybody? That's a good question. There's nobody here. I guess this this segment doesn't quite. I guess this style doesn't get pushed as much as the vertical live streaming on my phone. So yeah, it's might just be us for now. I wish Zen and Cece were here. It's really cool that you're still here, though. Really appreciate that. But the Hatman. Okay. All right, so let's go over the Hatman. This Adeline and no, what the heck? No. Biography, the Hatman. Over the next week, we're upgrading our network. Okay, don't care. Oh my gosh. I can't even read an article without. No, I don't want to accept cookies. This is horrible. This format. I gotta constantly click away from things. Okay, so the history. What is this right here? Monster Wiki. This is from from the article. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Vicky. So starting with this article, what do we have? See if I can. Okay, so the Hatman is a phenomenon in which witnesses report seeing a shadow-like entity dressed in a trench coat and a hat of some kind, usually a fedora. A fedora? I disagree. Oh, the cats are invading. Shh. Get out of here. Shh. Shh. The cats are invading the live stream. Yes, go meow somewhere else. Ah, Keisha. Okay, we don't need your help, Keisha. Go away. Okay, so it says usually a fedora. But in my experience, it wasn't quite a fedora. It was more of a, how do you say? Okay, so the Hatman acts like a ghost. Okay, so I want to read this story right here to see what kind of experience they had. And it says here, the Hatman acts like a ghost and is almost always just standing up. This form can simply fade into until the witness no longer sees it and has no apparent reaction to people. For example, many people reported bumping into this entity, which does absolutely nothing for seconds or minutes, then moves around a bit and just vanishes, as if it couldn't detect who saw it. So that seems about right. That is correct. Unlike a ghost, who might have visible facial features, the Hatman is a shadow in the dark in its entirety, with no identifying features. Many have reported that this entity feeds on terror and does not vanish. He simply walks away as any normal person would. This shadow has a substance, and many paranormal researchers believe that this entity just studies and observes, which is very, very quite interesting, really, because apparently the Hatman doesn't do anything. He will not touch you. He will not hurt you. He does not interact with you. And in my experience, that's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. When I saw the Hatman, from my experience, it walked away. So it walked into a restroom, an outdoor restroom. I guess it ducked his head down because he was about 8-9 feet tall. He was wearing a top hat, and I recall he went in through the door and he exited through the side, and then stopped. He looked at me, like he looked back at me, and then walked away into the night. And that's all I remember. That is all I remember. So all of that seems right, but I wonder if there are any other accounts. Let's see. Let's look for other people's experience with the Hatman. Okay, here's something from Reddit. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and read it for you. So let's look, kind of not skim through it, but read as much of it as we can, and see how much it matches with my experience. Have you ever had an encounter with the Hat Man? I wanted to share my experience and was curious if anyone else has gone through something similar. Back when I was a young kid, around 7 years old. I was seven too. That's weird. I was also 7 years old. I wanted to share my experience. Okay, back when I was a young kid, around 7 years old, I used to live in a house where various odd things would happen. But one of the events that occurred that was by far the creepiest was when I encountered someone that I now, as an adult, have learned is known as the Hat Man. It was late at night, and I was sleeping in my parents' bedroom because like most children, I was afraid of the dark. I remember sleeping on one of those mini couches for kids that you can pull out and turn into a mini bed of sorts and lay on it. I was sleeping near the doorway, and I remember my parents had left the door open and the hallway light was on. I was drifting off to sleep when I saw suddenly compelled to get up. I opened my eyes and I sat straight up. In the doorway, I saw a man standing. He was wearing a suit and a hat, and he looked like he had come straight out of an old timey black and white movie. I saw this because he was completely what is I say this because he was completely gray. Nothing about him seemed normal at all. But what was perhaps the most unnerving part of it all was that even though the hallway light was on, his face wasn't shown. After seeing this man, I screamed, and I woke up my parents, who also saw him. With terror in his eyes, my dad ran and shut the door. Afterwards, he grabbed the bat and searched for the man throughout throughout the house, but never found him. Later on, when we had moved out, we had heard another little girl had a similar experience, and as an adult, I've heard stories of the same being seen in hospitals right before someone is about to pass away. I've also seen similar renditions of the Hat in scary TV shows. I don't know the origins of this particular supernatural entity, nor do I know my family why my family and I had seen him. So I was curious to know if anyone has had a similar experience or happen to know about the this subject. Thanks for reading. Also, I have you guys what is it? Have you guys ever seen a show on Netflix called The Haunting of the Hill House? There's a man in there who kind of looks like the Hat Man. Kind of scared me when I saw it. It was unexpected. LOL. Okay, so here's the deal. What strikes me about this article is that not one, but multiple people, three people, the child and two parents, saw the Hat Man. That's mm, mm. See, that's troublesome for me because my understanding is that only one person gets to see the Hat Man at a time. That's my understanding. But in this scenario, multiple people got to see the Hat Man. Um, multiple people got to see the Hat Man, and it blows my mind because generally, when I hear people, tell their stories, it's always only them. And in my case, I think you already know this, Vicky, but when I told people the story of the Hat Man, Nobody believed me. Not a single person believed that I saw the Hat Man. And for years, even 2 decades, I thought I was insane. I thought I was crazy. But it turns out there's other people. There are other people that also know about. They also know about the Hat Man. But what's so striking about this is that in this story, multiple people, the child and both parents, got to see the Hat Man. That is unheard of. I wonder what people said about it, like what other people responded to this. Hmm. Oh, this one's winded. Um, I have also seen him twice. The first time I was 6 and rode in the car with my mom to get my youngest sister, a few months old at the time, to fall asleep due to teething. We were driving towards downtown where we lived, which was very small, and took a road that a certain part was called Snake Hill by everyone. At the bottom of the Snake Hill was a small bridge that went over some train tracks. We get to the top and to the stop sign and decided to look over to the left, where it's basically a drop off to the tracks, and seen him standing there, black top hat, black top hat. See, that's what I told you. When I saw him, he was wearing a top hat, like Abraham Lincoln. He was dressed like Abraham Lincoln, but no beard and no face. Okay, so he says he was wearing a top hat and black fancy trench coat. See, I didn't see the trench coat. The trench coat wasn't there. To the tracks and seeing him stand there, the trench coat with just a dark spot where his face should have been. Okay, no, it doesn't have a face. The second time I was around 9 to 10 years old, and I believe on the way to a gas station, with my mom and best friend, 11 to 12, and we took Snake Hill again. None of us saw him passing by to go to town, but on the way back at the same spot as last time, there he was, and they both saw him too. Some say he means something bad is going to happen, which in my case was true. I had a family member die within 2 to 3 months of seeing him. Some say he's just an entity that people see. With my experience, I believe he's like a warning, a messenger showing up because something bad is going to happen. It's not the same for everyone, of course, including what what hat he wears. He's known to wear either a top hat, a bowler's hat, or a fedora. Okay, so I want to talk about that for a little bit. I wanna mention that again. It's a second story where multiple people saw it. Oh yeah, that is freaking. That is super scary. Absolutely scary. Like I feel it on my back. Like I feel the tingly cold, like flowing. I mean, washing down my back. Okay, here's the deal, right? Here's what I think about this. Mhm. This person saw the. I have a theory, but I'm gonna hold on to it. Okay, I'm gonna just hold your just wait for the theory. Okay. So here's another commonality that the Hatman had in the original story, the OP original posters, and the person that commented the first comment. They both claimed that multiple people. They both claimed that multiple people saw the Hatman, which is again very strange. But here's my theory. Okay, this is what I believe. Um, it says that sometimes when you see the Hat Man, it means something bad is about to happen. But what if? Oh yeah, my blood started running cold. That was really something. What if, Vicky? What if the hat? It's the hat. Because some say he's a harbinger of death. Where if you see him, someone in your family is going to pass. But what if the clue is in the hat, depending on which hat he's wearing? So whether it's the fedora, the top hat. Oh, come on, Lex. Hold on. I'm talking about scary stuff, and then Lex scared me. Oh my gosh. Okay. Lex, stop it, boy. What if it all depends? What happens next depends on the hat. Because, like, if he's wearing the top hat, it means one thing. If he's wearing the fedora, it means another thing. If he's wearing which one is it? The bowler's hat, then it means another thing. I don't know which one it is. She said she mentioned, however, the top hat. So that's the bad one. That's the bad one. The top hat. That's the one I saw. What, baby? What, Lex? Oh, that right there? That's Lex walking around. Yeah. The fedora? The fedora is this right here. Give me a second. Um no, we can do it right here. Oh, we'll step away for a second. Let me show you what this is a fedora. Right here. So this style of hat right here is what you call a fedora. It's a bad hat. Like nobody should wear that thing. It's horrible. Lex, no, stop it. Stop it. Stop eating paper. Bad kitty. Bad kitty. Oh, Lex, we're trying to read a scary story. Come on. Okay, so no more fedoras. Back to the story. So back to this article. All right. What else? So what's another response that they had? Okay, so I want to go over the responses to look at the theories. But my theory is, and it's not unreasonable. Okay. I don't think my theory is unreasonable. And I say that because it's very quite clear. What if the hat man, depending on which hat he's wearing, is what is gonna happen? Like the top hat, if you're walking around at night and you see the hat man wearing the top hat, it means somebody in your family is going to die. Or not even just your family, could be a friend, could be the store owner next to you, something. And maybe the fedora, if he's wearing the fedora, maybe nothing happens. He's just kind of there. And if he's wearing the bowler's hat, it means a third thing that I don't know anything about. But I do want to know what we need to do is study all the articles that show what happens, in the story if the Hatman is wearing a fedora. Accumulate, do an aggregate of all the things that happen when the Hatman is wearing a fedora. Then everything that happens in every single story or every single anecdote where the Hatman is wearing a top hat, and every single anecdote of what happens when the Hatman is wearing a bowler's hat. All right, and depending on which one it is, if the story of the person telling the story is that someone in the family died, well, we can assume one thing, that if you see the hat man and he's wearing a top hat, brace yourself. Brace yourself. Because something bad is about to happen. Something bad is about to happen in your life, and we don't know what it is, but it'll be scary. It'll be heartbreaking. Oh, what is it, baby? Are you scared? Keisha, don't be scared, because you're scaring me. Oh, Keisha. What is Keisha looking at? No. Keisha, don't do that. You're scaring me, baby. That's my cat. And she was looking at the wall. And there's nothing on the wall. I'm not happy about that. I'm a little scared. Okay. I've never seen him, but I believe you. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you. I've seen the Hat Man. I've seen him in my life. Let's look over other answers. Wow, it's interesting story. It's interesting how you mentioned that every person sees him differently in terms of what he wears. What was an interesting piece of information. I didn't know about that. I'm also sorry to hear about the death in your family. Also, I should have mentioned I saw him wearing a fedora. I just said hat, but because I couldn't remember the name. Thanks so much for sharing. Okay. Wow. But notice that the death in the family happened when they saw the Hatman wearing the top hat, the Abraham Lincoln hat. Coincidence? I don't think so. I don't think so. My cat stares at the wall too and meows loud. But you saw that, right? He was staring at the wall. There's nothing on the wall, and my cat just now was meowing. Oh, okay. I'm getting chills. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay. It's crazy how we've been seeing the. Somebody says here, it's crazy how we've seen the exact same thing. Gives me goosebumps. Haha. It's also kind of neat how we can all relate to our experience. Makes me feel less crazy about what I saw. But that's an admission. Yeah, both Lex and Keisha did the exact same thing. They climbed on the table and they meowed. Um, that's an admission right there. Notice how this person said, it makes me feel less crazy. I also theorize that a I also theorize that the actual effect of the Hatman is to make you feel like you're going crazy. The way it harms you is by making you think that you are crazy. There's no scars, no broken bones, no physical injuries. It's simply the way the Hatman hurts you is by making you think that you have gone cuckoo, you're crazy in the head. Because no matter who you tell or how many people you tell, no one's going to believe you. Who's going to believe you? Hmm? Who's going to believe that you saw the Hatman? Nobody. So I think that's the way the Hatman hurts you, by ruining, by messing with your mentality, by messing with your mental sanity. That's how the Hatman hurts you. You may think, oh, well, nothing happened. I saw the Hatman and nothing happened. But have you tried telling somebody? Have you tried telling your loved ones, your friends, your best friend, your brother, your sister, your mom? Have you told anybody? No. Because what will they say when you tell them? Because nobody will believe you, but they should. And they should, absolutely. Or at least investigate, do some research. But they don't. And you have no way of proving it. You can't just say, I saw him. Well, he's not there. By the time you bring somebody else to look at it, he's not going to be there anymore. It is interesting, though, that two people told the same, told the story about the Hatman, and they both mentioned that the entire family saw him. So that's very interesting. You do believe in ghosts? Thank you, Vicky. I really appreciate it. I do find solace. I do find calmness in talking to you about this, because you openly tell me that you believe me, and I appreciate that. I truly, truly, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate that. Okay, let's see. What other responses are there? I'd love to have you on my podcast. You can remain anonymous. It's audio only. My audience would love to hear your encounter stories. Let me know. Okay, it's an invitation. I've seen the hat. I have seen the Hatman a couple of times. About 20 years ago, I saw him several times in my house. I wasn't scared or anything. Finally, I said aloud that I see him and I'm not scared. Didn't see him again until this past October, around the time I saw several figures, including a dog. A dog? A dog, Hatman? Ah, absolutely, Vicky. Yeah, it's so interesting that for me it also, like, 20 years passed. It's been over 20 years since I saw the Hatman. And I remember I vehemently remember telling everybody that, yeah, yeah, absolutely, Vicky. This should give you chills, and it does. Um, what other stories are